Independent game developers have produced some of the most imaginative, memorable, and fun gaming experiences over the past decade. Routinely, games like Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley, and Cave Story make a greater splash on the gaming scene than those developed by the most renowned creators. That's why I would like to take the opportunity to thrust into the spotlight some of the newest and greatest games that the indie scene has to offer. Today, I'll be looking at the game Atmos, Holodeck Training by the two-man group Persephone's Chair. First, I must disclose that I was asked directly to review this game, and was provided a review build directly from the developer. I can assure you viewers that I come into this review on as clean of a slate as I would any other title, and being given the game in no way influences my review. Now, onto the game. Atmos follows in the footsteps of indie titles like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes or Artemis, Spaceship Bridge Simulator. In all of these titles, multiple players are given various tasks to perform in order to achieve a successful mission. In the case of Atmos, one player is a space cadet, undergoing trials in a simulated environment to become a full-fledged astronaut, and is tasked with solving a multitude of problems that may occur on the space shuttle. These include jettisoning the plasma manifold, or reversing the dampener polarity, and many more. A second player, or third, or fourth, or more, have access to the simulator's guide and must relay directions to the cadet. This means that as the cadet, the player does not have instructions to solve these numerous jobs, or even a map of the entire facility, and as such, must trust the advice of their comrades, or risk perishing in the flames. The guide is accessed either via an app or on the developer's webpage, and so for this review, my wife took to her trusty phone and fed me directions while I attempted to bring my simulator space shuttle safely home. This is an intriguing concept. While not entirely new, again, we see the same thing with Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I enjoy this type of gameplay. It provides a type of immersion one cannot get with a single-player experience. It reminds me of the weekend I spent in space camp when I was in middle school, using basic math and problem-solving skills while pretending I was an astronaut. And that kind of nostalgia is always a good thing. The highlight of the game is in the various puzzles that the player will be solving. You have logic puzzles, like this one where you have to deduce with the aid of your partner just what exactly the buttons on the monitor do, as they change with each playthrough. There's also some math-related puzzles, like this one here where you have to add up some numbers and use some letters to detect the correct password for the console. There's even search and find-like puzzles, such as being given this jumbled mess of figures and having your partner tell you just what the correct order they are supposed to be in. In total, there are 10 brain teasers provided that test your knowledge, communication skills, and your patience. And ultimately they are all well thought out and are thrilling when put under the pressure of the ticking clock. Deciphering the instructions for these puzzles is part of the fun too. The developers wisely don't tell you exactly what to do in most of these cases, making the players try to figure it out on their own. It can be mildly frustrating attempting to find out just what will work when you're starting out, especially if you cannot see each other's screens, but once it all clicks and you have that aha moment, a lot of pleasure can be had. The one problem I had with the game's guide, though, is that there's just not enough instructions on how to use the device. There's a lot of information here, instructions on each puzzle, the controls for the cadet player, various maps, but some simple things eluded me in the beginning. For instance, you see this box right here? Yeah, from looking at it, you would think that that's all you need. But no, it moves. You might not believe it, but my wife and I were stuck on this very first puzzle for approximately 20 minutes because we had no idea that you could move to the left and right of this box to see more information. Some arrows right here and here, or a panel stating that you can simply swipe left and right to see more, would have saved a lot of confusion. I also think that the vast majority of the puzzles, once you figure out how to solve them once, are far too easy to solve again and again, even if the solutions are different. It got to the point with this puzzle that my partner would give me the answer within about 10 seconds, and then I was off to the next task. For this reason, I worry that in the long run, puzzle gurus may feel that the game comes up slightly short. There are an impressive amount of modes to explore though, which does help with the replay value. Mission mode introduces you to the different puzzles and places the gamer under a strict time limit to solve each task before moving on to the next stage. To complete this trial, the player could easily invest about 4 or 5 hours before reaching the final test before graduation. Endless mode is just that. The player can solve as many puzzles as they can before making enough mistakes to send their simulated shuttle crashing in a ball of flames. You can set the variancy for when puzzles appear, and that acts as a type of easy, normal, and hard difficulty curve for the game. Safe mode is great for practice. The player has no risk of receiving a game over and can do the different puzzles as much to their heart's content. This is a great way of getting acquainted with the different tasks put forward. The most fun, I think, comes from playing endless mode. There's enough risk here to encourage thoughtful gameplay, while not under the confines of the torturous clock. There's also just enough variety to keep the game from growing stale, as can be seen in the story-like missions mode. I also think that having the second player, the guide, see the cadet screen can defeat the purpose of some puzzles. The word search-like puzzle here is best when the cadet is trying to describe these odd shapes to a clueless guide, and it makes for some great team bonding scenarios. Persephone's Chair created this game using the Unity engine, which is quickly growing a following in the indie community. The game looks impressive for a small studio with bright colors and computer monitors, polished metal walls and glistening floors. The game looks best though when the ship is under duress and in a disaster zone. The lighting of the fire and exposed wires really conveys the urgency of the situation. The game looks like it would be well suited for a VR experience as well, especially since Unity has proved to be great for VR with Rick and Morty virtual reality, and Beat Saber is just a small sampling, so it's a bit disappointing to not see that here. There are some issues I could nitpick with this title. The glow on monitors, for instance, are a bit on the extreme. Where looking at them, I can't help but think that my glasses are smudged. The computer voice that's used is just too generic. A more distinct voice actor could really add a jolt of personality to the title. These issues, though, don't prevent the simulator ship from performing a successful mission. The gameplay is unique and fun, and it's obvious that it's well thought out. A real passion was put into these logic puzzles, which you just have to respect. If you're not a huge fan of puzzlers, but this concept interests you, I would maybe suggest waiting for a slight price drop. A puzzle junkie, though, or someone looking for a party game that makes you think, will definitely get their money's worth here. Streamers in particular may find it to be great fun bumbling around the spaceship, being fed advice from helpful viewers and deceitful trolls. My conclusion? Atmos is definitely worth a look. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed my content and would like to see more gaming reviews from a lifelong gamer, please consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and dropping a comment down below to let me know. Also consider donating to my Patreon. Every donation, no matter how small, can aid me in a big way in bringing more content your way. Thank you again, and until next time, take care.